Today we are going to cover one of the most unique guards that I've had the opportunity to review film for. He is a 6'3" guard coming out of High Point University, and he operates on a pace that is all his own. Able to score from many areas, get his teammates involved in creative ways. Really exciting prospect. So get ready. We're going to get into his breakdown right now. Hello, welcome back to another edition of the Transfer Portal Spotlight, where today we're going to be talking about Duke Miles, who is a guard transferring out of High Point University. This is actually his second time transferring. He went to High Point from Troy University after spending a couple of years there. But let's start this off like we do with most of these videos. Let's just talk about the season that he had at High Point last year. So he averaged 17 and a half a game, was a reliable shooter, handled the ball a lot for them, averaged 3.6 assists per game. Again, shot the ball well from three and from the free throw line. And, he was really effective at getting to the rim and finishing there as well. And on defense, he was aggressive and physical, had a good amount of steals, 1.3 a game. So he is a unique player. Watching his film, he does a lot of things that are rather unique. His ability to get to the rim, his patience, the speed at which he plays the game are all things that I really like. I have my questions on what translates to a higher level of competition, but we'll get into that. So we're going to look at his game from a few different, spotlights, if you want to call it that. So we're going to look at his ability to defend, as we do with everyone in this series. We're going to look at his ability to shoot the ball as a spot-up shooter. We're going to look at his ability to play in isolation. So a lot of, we haven't seen a lot of that yet in this series, but he's a guy who can really break his man down off the dribble and make some good things happen. But we're going to start this off with his ability to just be a creator in a pick and roll offense. He's, got a proclivity for going off screens, making the right read, and making things happen. So we're going to start off there, but hang tight. Hope you guys like this video, and if you do, as always, like and subscribe. So far and away, he was used most last year as a ball handler in a pick and roll situation. So he was highly effective in doing so. So what I love about his game, first and foremost, is he plays just at a speed that I think really throws off defenders. Like, they're not used to somebody who takes their time and is patient and plays off of 2 feet as much as Miles does. So, you'll see him coming off of these screens, and he's just so patient with the ball. Like, he'll get to his spot and he'll wait it out, and he'll just wait for you to make a mistake. And oftentimes it's just resulting in really high quality looks. So, he's shooting 66% at the rim, which, as often as he gets there, is highly impressive. He's able to kind of create some space as well. He's crafty with a step back move. My question is, and I mentioned this in the intro, is what happens when he's playing, night in and night out against some more athletic defenders who are going to make that possible, who are going to stay down, who are going to make him, make tougher shots that are more contested. I think he'll be in a pretty good spot, but there are some concerns there. Overall, there is just so much to love about his ability to create for himself off of situations where he's getting a screen. So obviously he can create pretty well for himself, especially coming off of a screen where he gets a little bit of extra space. He can do a lot of things well in that regard. How can he shoot the ball? How was he used as a shooter? We're going to go through some clips now where we see him operating, off the catch and shoot, where he's getting a chance to spot up, have his feet set, and knock down some shots. As a shooter, he was used less than you would expect. For someone that shot it, 38% from three overall, it didn't seem like he got that many catch and shoot opportunities. I have some reasons why I think that might be. And first is, historically, this isn't the level of shooter he's been. So if you look at his previous seasons and back at Troy, he was a pretty poor three-point shooter. And granted, he didn't have the role that he had at High Point, but he wasn't that great. He was more effective at getting to the rim. So I think part of it is he is selective in the shots that he's taken. He will take shots if he feels they're open. He's able to get his shot off pretty quickly. and he's raised his, ceiling as a three-point shooter year over year, which is something you love to see. My question is, does he regress in his new spot, or does he continue to keep up this same trend and just, develop into an awesome three-point shooter? So we've seen some examples of him creating for himself, but I really want to focus now as we move into this next section on his ability to get his teammates involved, get others opportunities to score as he draws more attention, as he makes more things happen. So in this next clip package, we're going to look at him finding his teammates, getting him involved, and making good reads. The strength of his game as a distributor is the fact that he sees things happen very quickly, and it's evident as you watch the film, that that's happening. So when he is able to beat his defender and drive middle, like his eyes aren't glued on the rim. He's not just locked into getting his shot up, which is a problem you see with young guards throughout all levels of the game, really. But as he's going, his head is up, his eyes are, in the direction of the rim, but also looking and seeing, what's available, what's the best option for him and his offense at this point in time. So he's able to throw some pretty, creative passes. He throws some tough passes. He's gotten a lot of highlight plays. So, I mean, if you look at just his assists, a lot of his assists are highlight plays, a lot of alley-oops, a lot of kind of flashy transition passes. He's really making the right play time in and time out. He's a skilled passer and someone I feel like is very comfortable leading an offense overall. Last part of the offense that I want to focus on, but I touched on it earlier, but he is skilled in isolation. He uses his kind of unique skill set in order to get guys off balance, beat them to the rim, and he has a really diverse array of finishing moves. So I just have pulled a few clips together here. I really want to showcase just him in isolation and what he was able to do. Having a player who's skilled in the ISO game is a double-edged sword at times. So you want someone that can do it when you need it, can do it in the last 4 or 5 seconds of a shot clock or, end of a half, end of a game. But you don't want someone that just, does that every possession or is constantly looking for their thing. And what I love from watching Duke Miles' film is that the times that he went into isolation were times where it was pretty much drawn up. They have an inbound play that, you just saw at the beginning of the clip and then right there where they're just kind of throwing it to him at the high post, right on the elbow and letting him work. And when, he needs to do that and when it's kind of his directive to do that, he's able to be successful, able to get really good looks. And again, play with that same kind of trademark patience that he has and generate some good looks and some timely buckets for his team. You love to see it. And lastly, as always, we're going to look at Miles as a defender. So we want to see, how does he compete? Is he physical? Does he have quick enough feet in order to make this happen? What does that look like? So we're going to take a look at Duke Miles on defense. So Duke Miles was more competent on defense than I was expecting, coming into it. He's not the biggest guard. He's not the fastest, I wouldn't say. He is quick, and that same quickness and patience that he has on offense translates over to the defensive side of the ball as well. Like he's able to really sit down and move his feet and keep guys going in the direction that he wants them to more often than not. He was a pretty solid defender overall, forced, turnovers about 10% of the time, held guys that he was the primary defender on to a pretty respectable field goal percentage as well. He competed from what I saw, from the limited defensive clips I was able to check out from him. He competed well, like he fought through things. It's something I love to see on defense. Like that play right there, you just saw that denial on a backdoor cut is just a pure effort play. And from watching his film, a lot of effort plays popped off the screen. Like he's able to make things happen. He's able to create opportunities for his team to get the ball. But overall, he was a statistically average player on D. There was nothing like in the synergy stats that stuck out, and but he's a good piece and competent on D. And that's our review of Duke Miles. He has, a lot of really unique aspects to his game. I think he's going to be, a valuable contributor to whatever offense he ends up on next year. The question that I have is just, how does that pace of play and how does some of his repertoire play up in a higher, skill level environment of Power Five college basketball. I think it's going to be very interesting to see. Where do you guys think he's going to go? As always, put a comment down below. Put in your guesses. If I'm sure this will come across his page at some point. So definitely let him know where you think he'd be a best fit. As always, only ask of you guys, if you enjoyed this video, if you got something out of it, please, like, subscribe to my channel, helps me extend my reach, get others access to some more, high-level basketball analysis. I love putting these together and I love sharing them. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.